This video is about how to be a footballer and a human being Jose Mourinho can only admire. Michael Essien was one of the most incredible Chelsea players of the noughties. He scored remarkable goals and won the Champions League, although at some point his career turned into a nightmare. Here is what makes one of the best midfielders of his generation a fan favorite at Chelsea, so even Mourinho calls himself his white daddy. Before we begin, like this video, subscribe to the channel and watch till the end. Let's go! 20 years ago, if you needed a top player in the making, you had to call Lyon in France. So Chelsea did. They called the French club about Michael Essien. They called again, and again, and again, and 4 months again. Lyon knew they had a top player on their hands, and Jose Mourinho knew the same. It took 5 failed attempts and lots of remarks from Lyon president before the sale was eventually agreed. Mourinho was delighted. "I wanted Essien because he is the best you can get for that position. He can play anywhere in midfield." It took the Ghanaian no time to win the trust of his new manager and the love of Chelsea fans. Internally, Essien got nicknamed the Bison, a reference to his relentless attitude and infinite endurance. In his first 3 seasons at Chelsea, Essien played almost every game from start to finish. No wonder he was among the Ballon d'Or nominees for 3 years in a row. In 2006 and 7, Didier Drogba scored 33 goals for Chelsea, but the fans still voted Essien as the player of the year. Simply put, he was unstoppable. Apart from his midfield routine of winning the ball back and progressing it, he scored a couple of goals that make you go wow. His long-range effort against Arsenal remains one of the best Premier League goals ever. So everything was going well, until what usually happened. Essien sustained an ACL injury while playing for Ghana. But here is the thing about Essien, he was a tough nut to crack. In his second game after the injury, he scored a crucial away goal in the Champions League against Juventus. He then scored a spectacular goal against Barcelona in the semi-final, although the game is best remembered for other reasons. But when 3 years later the Blues eventually won the Champions League, Michael Essien didn't get a single minute in the Munich final. That's because those 3 years were very rough even for the Bison. Struggling with injuries, Essien was relegated to the bench in the Champions League. However, when the likes of John Terry and Frank Lampard paraded around the Allianz Arena with the trophy, the Ghanaian had every right to join the celebration. That's because he was still part of the team and had played the entire 120 minutes in the round of 16 against Napoli, as the Blues had to overcome a 3-1 defeat. Mind you, it was a player who had come back from 3 grave injuries. But sadly, 2 ACL and 1 meniscus injury did take a toll on the Bison. If there was one person in top football who still counted on Essien, it was Jose Mourinho. The Ghanaian joined Real Madrid on loan for the 2012-13 season and immediately revealed the reason. "I was in my hotel room yesterday and got a call from my daddy, and he wanted to have me here. I will never say no to my daddy." The season went in flames and Daddy Jose had a fair amount of stars against him, but Essien wasn't part of the rebellion. In fact, Essien dedicated the goal he scored in his last game for Real Madrid to no one else but Jose Mourinho. No wonder the relationship between the two is beyond special. Mourinho was mad to find out that only 2 Real Madrid players attended Essien's birthday back in 2012. Jose always has a special affection for African players, but Essien was the one who made him fall in love with Africa. "He was not my player, he is my son. I'm his white daddy," Jose once proudly said. The reason why Mourinho and Essien hit it off immediately is twofold. First, the player was ready to play for his coach even on one leg. Jose's words, not ours. But the second reason is the personal relationship they developed. It was Essien who took Mourinho to his home in Africa. Jose recalled that in 2018, "He was probably the only one who took me to his real home, to the place he was born, to the streets where he played football as a kid. He made me fall in love with Ghana." So maybe Essien is why Jose is so excited about Africa. He spends his holidays in Africa and was in Namibia in the summer of 2023. You know, the internet is full of praise and memories for the old guard, John Terry, Frank Lampard, Didier Drogba and Petr Cech. Perhaps for their longevity, they are the first footballers that come to mind when you imagine Chelsea. But back in his prime, Michael Essien was in no way worse. At his peak, he was the absolute midfielder. His former teammate John Obi Mikel knows the value. Essien never gets the credit he deserves. Every day in training, he is there working, and what a human being. He is the train, he is the Bison. Following his Chelsea and Real Madrid exits, Essien had one last crack at top football at AC Milan, but that didn't last long. The later stages of his career took him to Greece, Indonesia and Azerbaijan. Maybe that's not the career end he envisaged, but somebody Jose Mourinho admires doesn't need reassurances. And what are your memories of Michael Essien? Leave a comment below and share the video with your friends so more football fans can watch it. Thank you for your support and see you in other videos.